It is with a heavy heart that we start this episode off by giving condolences to Spirit Airlines. And at first, I felt bad, and then I didn't feel bad, but now I feel bad again because you niggas did this. Nah, I'm playing. I'm playing. I'm sort of, but not really. But we're gonna get into that. Um, Listen, this month kicks off Mental Health Awareness Month, so we are going to be, talking about mental healthness. Mental healthness. All right. So y'all see where I'm at. This smokescussions, baby. Mental wellness. um, that's going to be the theme for this month's shows because it's very important, and particularly in the Black community, especially and specifically Black men. So we're going to be touching on that, but right now it's time to get into the theme song. Hit that.
Come and smoke with me. The conversation's elevated when you're smoking one with me. And we can talk about anything that you please. Better believe me, this is the highest place to be. Come and smoke with me. The conversation is made greater when we smoking on this weed. And we can rap about all of the things that we done seen. Blessings and lessons and only good energy. Come and smoke with me.
Yours truly. Um, Let me know if I should put a fuller version of that, like on Spotify or something. Let me know if you're rocking with that. If you are, I can make that happen. And if you're not, just be respectful. Uh, but let's go ahead and hop right into this first topic. This first topic, you trying to hit this first segment. This is something that's been a very loud conversation on the internet for I would say maybe the past week. Because that's when the news dropped. And I have some thoughts about it. Now I want to know if I'm the only one. I could be biased, but we're gonna see. Let's hop on into it. You trying to hit this? All right, so Meg Thee Stallion. Let's talk about it, right? She announced that she and Klay Thompson split after seeming to the naked eye very much in love, like on IG and stuff like that. I say to the naked eye because I'm a very firm believer that you never know what the dynamic really is behind these posts and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Um, and that's for anybody. That's not just Meg, not just Clay. That's anybody. So they announced that they were splitting. I was a little taken off guard because after a while I was like, okay, I guess they really happy. That's what's up. Um, and then the internet started giving their deep dives. Um, and it's some really interesting things, but I'm gonna say this. It is odd to me that Meg is the one that's getting all the energy when the story is allegedly he cheated on her. And it's just really interesting to me because it's like, and I don't know if it's the barbs that are always looking for something. I don't know if it's just niggas on the internet because we always gonna find a way. We always gonna find a way to normalize our bullshit. I mean, that's just it's human nature. Like nigga, cut that shit out. What's human nature is for us trying to find a way to normalize our bullshit. That's what's human nature. We just genetically predisposed. Y'all niggas, just a quick side though. Y'all niggas gotta stop doing that. For real, please. I'm asking. As a man, I'm asking because you just trying to get numbers behind your bullshit. Everybody's doing it. Like, no. If you cheat, if you feel like you not meant to be monogamous, nigga, that's you. And if that's what it is, that's what it is. I'm not judging nobody. If that's how you feel that you were meant to live your life, then do that. But don't be trying to put that on all of us. That ain't all of us. Nigga, that's you. Like, but anyway, shout out to my fellas. Shout out to my men. We got to stick together no matter how much we be bullshitting. Well, sometimes we got to call each other out. when we be on some bullshit, we gotta call each other out. It's our responsibility. But anyway, um, it was interesting to me to see how many people were, you know, digging into Meg's past relationship history and what allegedly happened in those relationships. And I say allegedly because none of us know. None of us know. We hear one rumor, we hear another rumor, and then we just decide which one is in the most favorable to the person that we have decided to side with. And that's it. We don't fucking know. We swear we do, but we don't. But regardless of that, my thing is this, and I'm just trying to look at it from a fact based point of view. If that nigga cheated, that nigga's wrong. I mean, is that too simple? I think that makes sense. And granted, we don't know what the truth is. That's just what she said. He hasn't come out and released a statement about anything. So we really don't know exactly what the truth is. But thus far, that's all that we've heard. He hasn't come out, denied it, no reps, nothing like that. So I'm kind of, and on top of that, and I'll be honest, I am a little bit biased because I'm from Texas. So, I'm gonna stand with my Texan all day. I'm just saying. I'm just saying there's a little bit of solidarity there. You know what I mean? And on top of that, I just genuinely like Meg. I'm to be honest with you. I know she get a lot of hate from the Barbs, and then some people have criticisms of her music or her flow more specifically, which is fair. Keep it real, but I don't know. I just don't see, she don't seem to me as like this sort of like viper. What's the word you call a woman? Not a siren, but like a like this man eater, I guess, is like people, it seems some people on the internet, some are trying to make it out to be. Again, I could be wrong because I don't know her personally, but it just you at least as much as celebrities live their lives on social media, you start to get an idea of what their baseline is, of what their personality is. They could try to fake in front all day, but especially with the ones that are always on social media, I think at that point you do to a certain degree get to know them as a person. You know what I'm saying? Obviously not intimately or closely, but because it's all still curated, but at a certain point, like you can't completely when you live in your life on social media, I don't feel like you can completely um I guess hold a facade like that. I don't know. What y'all think about that? I don't know. I feel like you get to know them, a certain bit. Now, if you post like Beyonce, then who knows? We get a photo shoot every now and again, and that's it. Which honestly, I'm not mad at. Like your personal life is your personal life. I can't imagine like having to live your entire life on social media just for the sake of, I guess, your career or in the interest of your career. Because I think that's the only reason they do it. Because that's what our society responds to is constant social media engagement. I wonder when we gonna burn ourselves out on that, or if that's ever gonna happen. Because you have company, I'm digressing a little bit, I know, but you have companies that specifically program these apps to like keep you scrolling and keep you addicted, and the government ain't doing nothing about it. They don't really care. If it's making them money, actually they do care. If it's making them money, they're gonna promote it, or look the other way or whatever you want to call it. But anyway, I don't want to digress too much. I feel like the internet, I won't say the internet at large because it's not everybody, but there's a response on the internet to me that's just weird against Meg. And I'm gonna also say this: I didn't hear all of these allegations when Ariana Grande was hopping from nigga to nigga. I'm just saying. I don't recall anybody calling her, making memes about her. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's just a different side of the internet. I like to stay in my region. I don't venture off too often. I have a couple of different regions, but certain regions I just stay away from. Young white pop music stars. That's just it's not my region. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know, man. I just felt like Meg is she's damned if she do, she damned if she don't. You know what I mean? And this, let me be clear, I'm not judging Klay Thompson either if he did cheat. You know what I'm saying? All I'm saying is it's fucked up. It's wrong. If that's the case, he was in the wrong. But there's no judgment because like he who was without bullshit cast the first stone. Yeah, put your stones down. Sit it down. Actually, just go outside and put it back in the yard where it belongs. Everybody should have no stones and no hands because everybody is on some bullshit. So don't be judging nobody. You know what I'm saying? Don't be judging Meg. Don't be judging Clay. Don't just let that be the lesson. Stop judging. Right? We're going to end on that note. Let's jump right on into Puff and Pass. So for Puff and Pass, what I'm putting y'all on today is the Nature Boy documentary that just dropped on Netflix. Now, if y'all don't know who Nature Boy is, and I won't say I would be surprised if you didn't, because I don't know like how big it was as far as just in the culture news cycle, because it was pretty big. Now you had to have heard of it. You had to have heard of it. But if you haven't, Nature Boy, Elahio Bishop, I think was his name. He was essentially a cult leader, a black man who essentially started a cult full of black people. And it's particularly interesting to me, this situation, because, and I'm gonna just keep it real as a black person, and I think the community would agree, when we think about cults, we think about white people. Because those have been the most notable cults in history. Like it's look, the proof is in the pudding. Don't get mad at me, get mad at the history books. All right? Some of the most notable cults in my lifetime and in my learned history have been white people. Yeah, I actually can't recall like a black cult. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like correct me if I'm missing something, bring it to my attention. But I don't recall that. So this is really interesting to me to see what that iteration of a black cult, what it looked like, how it started. Now, I watched the documentary, but I didn't need to watch the documentary because I watched the deep dive YouTube video into this like years ago. Cause I was fascinated. I was like, how does this happen to black people? And it's not to say that we're not susceptible. Obviously, we are. But I was just like, but how? Like, what was the methods? It was shocking to me. So to give a little bit more, I guess, of a slight backstory, he was an individual who basically was really on some real strong black power type energy. You know what I mean? And he ended up moving over to Costa Rica. He sort of created this community where people slept in tents. They lived off the land. It was a smaller group that started getting bigger and bigger. People were in relationships there. They were coming from all over the world to come and, join this utopia that ended quotation marks, that ended up being called Carbon Nation. And it was problematic to say the least. There was sexual abuse, there was violence, there was, I guess you would say, maybe coercion, and just a lot of weird stuff, you know what I mean? He was busting down every chick in the group, in the commune. Very much so. You have to watch it, to really get the idea of how toxic it became. But it was just astonishing to me to see all of these people of color. I don't know why that part is so intriguing to me. Again, I guess it's because I don't know any situation in history like it. You know what I mean? And I guess there's been this sense of, as a community, oh, that could never happen to us. I don't know, maybe some arrogance there for us to feel like, or for me specifically, I can only speak for myself, to feel like, oh, we would never be able to be susceptible to fall for something like that. I don't know. I just feel like we have natural bullshit detectors. And I think arguably, one could argue that's probably why you don't see a lot of black holes. I mean, to be fair, you really don't. This one was crazy, but he was calling himself God and all these other like wild things, and it's interesting the documentary to see how it all started, and you hear from people that were a part of it. Mind you, to this day, he still has people. He's in prison now. Spoiler alert, but he still has people that follow him to this day and are fighting to get him released. So watch that and then put that part into perspective. It's crazy. It's it's weird. But what's even weirder is what the hell happened to Spirit Airlines. Now, y'all, when I first saw the Spirit Airlines ceased operations, I was shocked. Especially because it wasn't even like y'all in 2 weeks, we winding down, y'all get ready, buckle up, we gonna refund you if you pay for a ticket. No, it was like, hey, you about to get for the airport? Don't. You about to catch that taxi? Don't worry about it. We shut down. we we had to cut. We had to cut it. And I was like, man, what the hell happened? So I'm doing a little research. We're like, why did they shut down? And apparently, a $500 million bailout with the government negotiations for that they fell through. And I was like, oh really? Now I'm getting suspicious. Like, why y'all don't want to bail Spirit out? You know, affordable, accessible to middle to low income families. Why y'all don't want to bail them out? Is this an attack on the middle class? What's happening? Then I did further research and y'all, it wasn't. Spirit should have been shut down. I'm surprised they lasted this long. I'm genuinely after researching it, I'm surprised they lasted this long. I am not gonna lie to you. So let's start here. Spirit ain't paid taxes since 2019. They have filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy twice, once in 2024 and once in 2025. So last year and the year before, Chapter 11 bankruptcy. So I started looking into like what happened. Now I got curious. Now I'm high and I'm going down a rabbit hole because I need to get down to the bottom for some reason of what happened to Spirit Airlines. So in 2024, they filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Well, first of all, let's start here. Spirit, when they made they pivot, I want to say it was like late 2000s, they made a pivot to really affordable, some might say dirt cheap, airplane tickets. That was the move to make. Yeah, well, I won't say everybody was flying Spirit, but they definitely saw a boost in customers with that pivot. But what happened was the bigger airlines, the Deltas, the American Airlines, the Uniteds, they said, hold up. We're not with it. Introducing basic economy tickets. That's right. You can get a ticket for the same price as Spirit with none of the amenities to come with it. Booyah! How about that? Yeah, the ticket is just as cheap as Spirit's, but if you want to choose your seat, $50. If you want the seat on the end with extra leg room, 25 more. Check in the bag, 60. You might as well just get the regular ticket. But they introduced that in order to compete with Spirit. So, Spirit was already, kind of like, you know what I mean, a little nervous, but they was doing their thing. Then COVID happened. And like many businesses, they were hurting. Mind you, they wasn't sitting on like a stack of cash because they offering $50 trips to Miami. So, I mean, the reserves weren't fat like that. So come back from the pandemic, right? They trying to get their business back, but keep in mind, all of these other airlines are also trying to get their business back, and it's just not really happening for Spirit. So around 2023, 2024, Spirit said, you know what? We can't do it, bruh. We can't do it. We've been trying, but it's just not working. So they called up JetBlue. They said, JetBlue, yo, absorb us, bro. Come by us, bro. Merge, bro. Cause we need some help. We cannot keep going like this. JetBlue thought about it. They said, bet. That sounds good. We with it. We with it. We with it. So at this point, Spirit is about to be saved. The government said, wait, hold, what y'all doing? No. No. Government said, nah, we not with it. And they filed a lawsuit against the merger. Went to court. The judge said, what happened? Yeah, nah. Nope, not gonna happen. So at first when I was researching that, I was like, that's fucked up. They trying to survive. They trying to keep their head above water. Y'all hating. Y'all just straight up hating. But when I readjusted my glasses and read the decision, I was surprised at the decision and surprised that I agreed with it. Basically, the judge said, y'all are disruptors in the market, right? With these super affordable prices. So if we remove y'all from the market, what is that going to mean for consumers? Y'all force the big airlines to come down on their prices. So if we remove y'all, what is that going to mean for the lower, middle to low income travelers? I was shocked. I said this decision was so uncharacteristically considerate of the American people. Huh. What's in it for you? Cause I'm just not used to that. Yo, am I jaded? Am I jaded when it comes to politics? Cause I was like, this was a sound decision made. On the one hand, it was a sound decision made in the interest of the American people. On the other hand, if they're going out of business, it really doesn't matter, does it? But anyway, went to court. The judge said, nah, no merger. JetBlue said, damn, my bad, fam. Good luck. And Spirit said, yeah, Chapter 11 bankruptcy. That's the only way to go. So they filed Chapter 11 bankruptcy November 2024. And that wiped their debt, right? By August 2025, they were filing Chapter 11 bankruptcy again. This time, they had $8 billion in debt. 8 billy. B. B. How? Well, this is how. Because I did the research, so you don't have to. What happened was, let me just say, Spirit has had it rough. They had a rough road. They've had a rough road. It was an engine recall that happened. They had just leased these brand new planes. Leased these brand new planes, and the engines in them got recalled. So they had all these planes they were still paying the lease on that they couldn't even fly. Right? And then on top of that, they dealing with PR crisis after PR crisis because you niggas don't know how to act on a Spirit flight. What they say? We can't have nothing nice. We can't have nothing nice. These people giving y'all $25 trips to Louisiana or wherever else you want to go, and y'all just can't act right. I know these people were sweating. They can barely get their planes out the sky, and then when they do get them out the sky, y'all on their fight, acting a fool. I feel bad now. I never took a Spirit flight. You know, it's just not the path that I was called to walk. But after I was thinking about it, because no judgment to anybody taking a Spirit flight. Yeah, they affordable. But after all of this, I'm like, damn. I wish I would have jumped on me a little $10 flight to Houston. You know, something. Darn. Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you've got till it's gone. So they were bleeding money from the engine recall, right? They can't fly these planes. This was in 2025. Then guess what happens in 2026? a war that nobody asked for with Iran. Woohoo! Pew, 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 pew. So now, because of that conflict, gas prices, including jet fuel, skyrockets. They can't afford it. They cannot afford it. They bleed money. They bleed money. They got to pay still for these planes that they're leasing that they can't fly. Jet prices, jet fuel prices are through the sky. And in the midst of all of this, they too busy giving y'all $5 trips to Miami. So that's when they said in May, they said, yeah, we can't do it. We need a bailout. They went to the government. They said, government, hello again. What can you do for us? We need some assistance. We can't make it. And this is, keep in mind, this is the Trump administration they're talking to. Government said, here's what I can do for you. We'll give you $500 million in exchange for 90% ownership of the company. 90%. Stakeholders was like, I know you fucking lying. They said, and hold on. We're not done. You know all of those creditors that you already owe money to? If y'all go down in flames, ooh, no pun intended, y'all got to pay us back first. They can wait. So then the creditors was like, I know you fucking lie. So they decided, you know what? It's been a good run. We loved serving the Miami girls trips for these past 20, 30 years, but our road has come to an end. And they went ahead and they called it. Which, I mean, what other choice do you leave somebody if you saying I'll give you enough? First, mind you, 500 million wasn't gonna like help them resurrect. It was only gonna just delay the inevitable. So you basically just giving them a little piece of change for ownership of the company. And then when y'all got ownership, and this is the Trump administration, keep this in mind, you know them prices was going up. You know them prices was skyrocketing. Let's be real. So it was just like, it was time. It was time. You know, they put up a good fight. They served many of us, oh y'all, because I never took one. I regret it. I can never say that I experienced a Spirit flight. I hate that for me. But they served y'all very well for many years. 50-cent trips to Vegas. Like, listen, you know, and y'all couldn't act right. Y'all feel bad now? Everybody that had a fight, argument, ended up throwing bags and water bottles in the mid-flight. All of y'all, do y'all feel bad now? I hope y'all feel bad. Because shame on you. Look what y'all did. I don't even know how much of the budget went to PR, damage control. They giving away flights. Y'all don't even know how to act. That's a damn shame. But anyway, I got to thinking about what our alternatives are now, because all jokes aside, they were a very big part of, an integral part, I would even say, of middle to low income families and individuals' ability to travel. You know what I'm saying? Which, hey man, we all deserve it. You know, we all deserve that. And so, while I don't think it was an attack on middle to low income families and individuals, it's most certainly going to affect middle to low income families and individuals. You know what I'm saying? So I got to thinking, what alternatives do we have? And are the big airlines about to like take advantage of that in a predatory way? Like, are they about to spike prices because now they don't have to compete? They don't have to compete anymore. It's crazy. I mean, listen, y'all better start looking up Megabus. shout out to Megabus, first of all. Megabus is a vibe. Megabus is a vibe. I love Megabus. When I lived in Austin and I would go home to visit Dallas, I would be on the Megabus back and forth all the time. But here you go. And it all goes back to the pandemic. The pandemic fucked up a lot of shit. So Megabus don't even operate in Texas no more. They don't operate in the better part of the South anymore because after the pandemic, Coach USA is their parent company. You know, the big Coach buses. They had to also file for bankruptcy after the pandemic because when everybody came back to work, there was so much work from home. So people weren't commuting like they used to. So they had to file for bankruptcy. That affected Megabus. So now Megabus don't even truck like that. This pandemic really it's crazy. Like it's 2026. The pandemic happened in 2020, and 6 years later, we're still seeing the effects of that period 6 years later. That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. And for 6 years, Spirit hung in there. They did they big one. I hate that it turned out like this for them. And what really does suck though, because for real, all jokes aside, a lot of people lost their job overnight. Like that 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 that's a scary position to be in, especially can you imagine the people that was living paycheck to paycheck? That's wild. But all of those individuals, man, go to the unemployment office. That is specifically this situation is specifically what unemployment is made for. So please, I pray and I beg. I hope ain't nobody got no ego or no hangups. Go to the unemployment office and get your shit. Get your things. You got dealt a shitty hand. So you deserve to go, make sure that you have some security until you're able to get back on your feet. So if you know anybody that was a Spirit Airlines employee and they not going to the unemployment office, tell them to take their ass immediately. Get your money. Now, I do want to talk about some alternatives, right, for Spirit because people travel for all types of reasons. People travel for leisure, but they also travel for work. They travel for all types of reasons. So if you're still looking for that Spirit related pricing, Frontier Airlines, check them out, and also Southwest too. Be having some decent prices, And I personally speaking, I like flying Southwest. I'm a United guy, but Southwest is my second choice. Southwest got some nice spacious seats. The prices be decent. I'm a fan of Southwest, so that would be my recommendation. Frontier is definitely cheap. Definitely closest to Spirit Airline, close cousin, first cousin. So we have some alternatives because I was kind of concerned about that. So I had to, look it up and make sure I'm trying to pass along that information so that we can continue to culture ourselves and go out and travel and experience other things and other people, regions, ways of life, all of that type of stuff. I think it's important. It's very important, underrated even. So continue to travel. We have options. Don't let it discourage you. Spark it, spark it, spark it, spark it, spark it. It's that point in the show where, like I said, once a week, I'm going to be identifying something in my life that I just need to go ahead and attack, get up and get after it. Um, Last week was consistency, and here I am again, baby. Ooh, episode number 2. Nah, but baby steps. You gotta take it one step, 1 week at a time. But this week, I'm going to make sure I take the steps because I talked about it a little bit in last week's episode, and I didn't get up and get after it. So that's why my spark it for this week to get up and get after it is getting back into therapy. And I think that's even fitting because, like I said, this month is Mental Health Awareness Month. So what better spark it to identify for this week than to get my ass back into therapy? And I need it. Wait, that sounded crazy. No, I mean like I needed the way we all needed. You know what I mean? Like I said, I can't speak enough about how awesome my therapist was. And so I'm gonna reach back out to her because, like I said, she has a team of therapists now, and I'm gonna see how I can get in. Hopefully, she takes my insurance. Ooh, I just thought about that. Um, and I'm gonna also see if I can get on the podcast. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, she is so insightful. Like that's the first time out of the 3 therapists that I had, she was my 3rd. That's the first time I actually felt like I was in therapy. You know, she dragged me a couple times. It was a little hard to hear, but, I needed to hear it, and I was better for it. So, that is my spark it for this week is getting back into therapy. I encourage anybody and everybody to get into some kind of therapy. Um you're gonna have to Google it, but I'm sure there are some maybe free resources. If you don't have the money like that, I get it. You know what I'm saying? Therapy can be expensive. So that's not something that we should ignore. Not everybody has the money to do it, but there are resources out there for you to do it. If you have insurance, there's a lot of different therapists that do take insurance. You could get it that way. And then they have the telehealth therapy, like the headspaces and stuff like that. I'm not promoting them because they ain't give me the money to do that. But I personally used Headspace, and that's how I met my therapist. And just again, like I said, 10 out of 10, no notes. So whatever you can do, I definitely say please at least research it. Especially because when you need to talk to somebody, and when the people in your life that you do talk to, you're not getting what you need from those conversations. You know what I mean? And it never hurts ever, literally never hurts to talk to somebody ever. In fact, I would say it's the polar opposite. You know what I mean? We don't give that enough credit. And to my brothers, I mean, I think we're getting better. As black men, I think we're getting better about acknowledging how important therapy is, especially with everything that we just inherently go through in this. Now, I won't even say this day and age that we've historically and continue to go through, you know what I'm saying, on varying degrees and varying levels. If anybody else needed, we needed, nigga. If nobody else needed, we needed for sure. You know what I'm saying? And we deserve it. You know what I mean? It's not I don't know how it's looked at. I'm still trying to wrap my brain around why there's just still this. I mean, I know it's an old school mindset. That's what it is. I shouldn't even try to figure out. It's an old school mindset. You know what I mean? But if you acknowledge that God is the creator of all, he created therapists too. Not utilize them. You know what I'm saying? To me, that's like saying, I don't need a haircut. Jesus is my barber. That was a terrible analogy, and I know where I was going with it when I started. I thought I might be able to land it, but yeah, we're gonna pretend that one didn't happen. But you know what, nigga, get into therapy if you feel like you need it. And if you don't feel like you need it and somebody's telling you you need it, you probably need it. Get your ass in therapy. You'll love it though. You'll love it. You love it. It's like jumping in a cold pool. Just like, oh shit. Ah, just give it a chance. That's my challenge. That's my sparking challenge to anybody out there that doesn't have their own. I challenge us. I challenge you to challenge yourself. Try therapy out. You could even do it. I think it's some free trials out there. You could do a free trial. Just do one session. Just see how it go. Just see how it go. I I I, I think you'll love it. I think you would love it. Um, and on that note, I need to finish off this bowl and jump right into editing this show because I got work in the morning. But as always, if you've listened to this point, I appreciate it. Episode 2 under the belt. I'm still on my consistency journey. This is just the next step in it. Thank you so much for all the love on the first episode. I really appreciate it. Anybody who watched it, liked it, subscribed, all those things. It honestly, it means the world to me. So Until next time, stay lifted, stay blessed. I love you, and I will talk to you on the flip side.
Come and smoke.